boxes like that need to be checked is like open communication. Like
And this is all in the effort for monogamy, or
this
all
is
in
just for my next person. This is just for
So do
me to
you want your next person to be poly, or do you want them to be monogamous?
I don't want to force a narrative on somebody that's not something that they want.
I'm not even saying about forcing narrative. I'm talking about what does Sharon want?
I mean, like it's not necessarily like when I go into a relationship, be like, oh, this has to be poly or this has to be like an open relationship. It's just like it depends on the person. Okay, that's cute.
Shout out to the Thomas Collection Studios. One time for the one time. Yeah. Ooh, we ain't got no poem to drop. Shout out to Jay. Y'all already know what it is, man. It's your boy LaCheston, man, back with another episode of the What You Mean podcast. And you're here for another episode of the What You Mean podcast. That's our edition. And got a familiar face on this thing, you know what I'm saying? And know it's been a while since y'all seen her. Y'all seen her in season 1, and y'all probably wonder why she on the ATL edition, and maybe she'll tell y'all why she is on the ATL edition. But without further ado, man, you know, my guest for the evening, you know what I'm saying? Shout out to
Sharon, not Shay. That is me. But I mean, like, I was here before. We had a very heated, I guess, discussion last time. It got pretty hectic a little bit, but it was more people on the podcast too. It wasn't just me.
Yeah.
But no, I'm kind of in a transitioning period of moving from Birmingham to Atlanta area. So he decided to be here when I was here trying to figure out things. So that's how I kind of got on the Atlanta edition, I guess, of the podcast series.
Well, it's always dope when you can actually hit somebody up and just be like, man, hey, I got this going on in the city, you know, building up the cash, getting everything together. Can you slide through? And they'd be like, yeah, man, that sounds dope. I could do that. So, you know, shout out to her. You know, make sure you go run the follows up and all that other good stuff.
Yes, applause, all the time.
So the last time you was on the show, you were accompanied by, you know what I'm saying, some people that we ain't got to call your age out, but we can just say that they were a little bit younger than you.
A little bit.
I think that had a lot to do with the conversation that was being held, simply because you may or may not been able to really like truly get your point across because of, and not saying that not in a bad way. I'm just saying, like, I think some of the things that came up in that conversation and may possibly.
I don't think it was necessarily like a age thing. I'll say more of a maturity thing or just a different mindset because, like, you know, like I'm very open-minded, especially like when it comes to a wide range of topics. So it's like if you're not like as open-minded as I am when it comes to certain things, like the conversation isn't necessarily gonna like lead towards like me in that type of situation. So I kind of just like put in where I fit in at that point in time. So I feel like I have my little gems, my little moments, my little bangers. So I did what I was supposed to do. So
That's what's up. So I mean, if I can ask, and you can say no, I don't want to talk about that. Let's go on to the next thing. Like what prompted, you know, the move, or the transition or attempt transition or whatever you want to call it that you addressed it as to Atlanta?
I'll say the biggest thing is, and I don't want to give him all the credit, but part of it is to a breakup that I went through about a year ago. It's about that time. But still, like, Atlanta has always, like, called towards me. Like, I've always had fun in Atlanta. I know a lot of people that are in Atlanta. It's a lot of opportunities in Atlanta, especially, like, in my field of work. Like, I bartend. I do model. I need to get back on my shit. But it's nor here nor there. But the transition was more so, like, it was either going to be here or Dallas. And it was to the point to where, like, Atlanta kind of, like, pulled me a little bit more.
Gotcha.
So it has to do with the breakup because, I mean, like, obviously I'm not tied to that person anymore, so I don't necessarily live with that person anymore. So it's like now I can go out and kind of, like, find this new chapter of Sharon and kind of see, like, where I want to go.
I got you. Understood. So a lot of times when we go through breakups, man, you know what I'm saying, we're looking for that next thing to connect to. As much as people will probably lie and say that, I ain't gonna say we use people, but people help us get over people. You know what I'm saying? It's kind of sort of like, if it's not the central pull to help you healed, they're like maybe the cherry on top
But
of
that's so toxic though. Like I don't like rebounds. And it's like obviously like when you first get out of a relationship, everybody feel like whenever you just get back into the scene, it's like, oh, you got over them quick, you did this and you did that. No, it's like I am myself. I'm single. I'm dating now. I'm back in the dating world. So it's
right.
like if I want to go out, have fun, go on a couple dates, do what I want to do with whoever. I mean, like that ain't got to be like the whole aspect of like I'm trying to use that to get over said person because like the type of person I am is like once I'm out of the relationship, like I've been out the relationship. So like once it's settled and it's done, I've been done mentally.
Right.
So it's not like I need this or that to help me get over the fact of we're not together anymore.
I got you. I think the rebound is always the rebound of the rebound of the rebound. I don't think there's no such thing as in a failed relationship and then the next relationship you get in, no matter which rebound they are, they're still a fucking rebound.
So you feel like the next relationship after the failed relationship is a rebound or just like that next person you
Period.
deal with
Next
like
person,
afterward?
period, whatever. It doesn't matter what if they fall one or fucking 16th. Like they're the rebound of a fucking rebound. I mean, and it's the truth, man. When people hurt and people start going through things, they start looking for every little thing that they've been missing. Point
Mm-hmm.
blank period. They're not gonna find all of it in one person. So normally during that rebound fucking season, this is why during that season you some people have more than one, maybe sometimes two people that they end up dealing with in that season, just because that's what they're going through and that's what they're doing.
But you're gonna want to go after the things that like you didn't get or didn't have or that you're searching for the other person because it's like you're saying like you're searching for the things you didn't get. That's the reason why like the relationship didn't work for whatever reason. This is just broadly speaking, is because there were some things lacking in that relationship. So now when I go to the next person or the next situationship, next relationship, like those things need to be there.
I got you. I got you.
You was talking about how everybody is a rebound to the rebound of the
Yeah,
rebound.
definitely. I believe that wholeheartedly. I believe that wholeheartedly. But it ain't nothing like the motherfucker that shot the shot though. It's something about the motherfucker that shot the shot. People don't think about that. People always talk about some of the rebound and shit, but they don't think about the motherfucker who took the shot. It wouldn't be no rebound if a motherfucker didn't take the shot.
But it doesn't have to always be okay. I get what you're saying about a rebound, but it's like that first person is like, I don't know, is the example of what either to do or not to do. Like I said, it just depends on like how the relationship ends or
So you think you're gonna find your what are you looking for a person? Like what are you looking for in Atlanta in terms of the dating realm goes?
honestly, like Atlanta for me right now is for me to date myself. Not saying I'm not gonna go on dates or meet new people, but it's like I'm not in the active duty of searching for my person or my them or my they. Like if it comes to me, if it's right, then it's right. I'm just really big right now, like off of vibes, and like you just gotta check my boxes. And it's like if you kind of quasi or queasy on like what you want to do and what you don't want to do, or communication with me has to be like on 1,000 because like that is the biggest thing about like just me period. So it's like if I don't have that, then it's not gonna work.
So since you already been in the Atlanta mix a little bit, I mean, I guess, we had some previous shows. We were talking to some Atlanta models that have been here. You know what I'm saying? Just talking about the dating round period, and it's like almost every woman in Atlanta is saying and posting that they can't find who they want to date. So what makes that these people that have been here and I don't know what your pockets look like. I don't know what you got doing. We ain't talked about your career, what you're doing right now. We ain't talked about none of that. So my next statement is not directed in a certain way. So at the end of the day, I guess I'm saying like, do you think that the women that have been already going through the motions of hoping to bump into that particular guy? Like you think you're gonna be able to skip the line and just
I don't.
get the good of the little?
I mean, I don't want to toot my own horn, but I feel like I'm a dope ass person, and my vibe is like necessarily what attracts whatever it is to me. Now, I have heard a lot of people say like they don't like the dating here, but it's you got to think about the certain type of females you're thinking about too. Nothing against like I don't know who you talk to, what they do and what they don't, but it's like if it's the fact of like if you going out to the clubs just looking for a nigga that's spending money, obviously like that comes with him wanting to talk to multiple females or this is that and the third. I don't know, it just depends on whatever you put out, like trying to find a person and not just letting that come to you. Like I don't know, I haven't really been in the Atlanta dating scene, so I mean like I can't really like say off of that.
So you want a monogamous relationship now?
I could do a monogamous relationship, but I mean, like me as a person, I don't want to say I'm not built for monogamy, but I know it's something that doesn't have to be a set standard for my next relationship.
Got you. So what's your with that being said, like what's your cap? Like
What do
like
you mean, my cat? Like amount of partners, like at the same time?
yeah.
Like
Hold on a second. Hold on. What I was saying before I was rudely interrupted, and what I was trying to say was, so when it comes to shit, if that's how you feel and how you moving, like if you got, so does that mean you got a main person, and out of all this shit, you got one main
it
person?
depends. It depends on like your relationship style. Like if it's a poly relationship, then it's multiple people. But if you're just in an open relationship, you have your partner, but you're able to step outside of that situation
So when
and
does
deal
the
with other
stepping out
people.
stop though? Is what I'm saying. Like, isn't it?
People have asked me that before. Like I've had people like that have necessarily wanted to date me, and they asked me like, okay, so like if this is the thing, so I mean, like, what if we get married? You want to? Is that gonna stop? We gonna keep going? I mean, like, I don't. It's hard for me to explain, just like for me, because it's like I understand attraction. So it's like human nature is to be attracted to a lot of different people. It's what you do on those attractions. But I would rather be open with those attractions with my partner rather than trying to sneak around and cheat and stuff like that, because then there's no point. See, and this is why every time I have this conversation, people just be like, well, you know.
I'm gonna tell you why though. I'm gonna tell you why from my perspective, right? Here's the number one thing with me. I think that as I'm gonna speak for all the men in the world that don't want to hear this shit because I don't want to hear it. 80% of us will not motherfucking agree to it. You know what I'm saying? But here's the real: we're not built for who we decide to give our ominous dominance blessing. We're not built to say that we would allow y'all to just do what it is y'all want to do and mess around who you mess around with.
And I
Like,
understand that. I definitely understand that.
like
It's
that
just
shit.
for a lot of men, like especially when it comes to like poly relationships, like it's okay for the man to have multiple wives, but it's like if a woman want to have multiple husbands, it's like, ooh, there's something wrong with you. Like the series that I feel like can explain me, but like not to the T, was like the show that was on Netflix. She's Gotta Have It. Boom. If you've
I don't know
seen
if
it,
I've seen it.
you gotta see it. You gotta see it. Basically, she was very open with having multiple men, and she also had like a female too. But it's like she was very open in the aspect of like they knew about each other. They all had dinner together. Like they had their time that they spent with her, like separately together. But it was her. She was the main person, and but she had multiple partners.
Let's say y'all got your own little community, man. That's what they said. That what I heard. They ain't come from me. That was just what I heard. I heard y'all got your own little community.
it's a it doesn't have to be like, it doesn't have to be for me to be like in a polygamous relationship or me being in an open relationship. I can do monogamy. I feel like if you are enough for me as a person and how I am, I mean like it's certain things that I feel like women in general will just submit to when it comes to their man if they're giving that like that energy off to that person. But it's like I haven't got that energy yet. So
Right.
once I get it, then maybe. I'm not saying like I can't be monogamous.
I think that's what I had to when I guess on the show at one time. I told her, I said, man, I think you gonna come to this guy that just gonna like real deal fucking just
Sweep
sweep
you
you off
off
your
your
fucking
feet.
feet. Like that shit. Like I still believe that shit is possible and that shit happens. Like and I hate that You got a couple of finessers out there that just know the game and they know how to work that shit to their T, and it fucks it up for everybody else. You know what I'm saying? Like the people that are taking the genuine approach, doing the genuine things, all those things that you want, all those things that you need, all those things you waiting on somebody to pay attention to, and you actually it's a genuine approach what you're doing these things, but they go unnoticed because shit, the last nigga did all them things and shit. He was on some bullshit.
One thing I try not to do and I can appreciate by myself is like I don't take old baggage from my old relationships into my new relationship. Yes, I'm aware of what the last nigga did to me or the last situation, how it happened, but like I'm not going to force that upon like the new person. Like I'm not built to say like, well, he did this, so if you doing this, like yes, it might raise a flag to me if you start moving in that type of behavior, but it's like I'm more so aware of it now. I might just not say too much. I'm gonna see how you act, but it's like I'm not about to throw that in your face, be like, well, my ex did this, so now you doing this. Like I'm a peep. It's gonna come up. It's gonna flare up. It's gonna be like, hey, you done seen this before, you need to watch it. But it's like I don't want to put my past drama or my past relationship issues onto the next person.
So I guess I have to just ask this shit though, like just for me, I guess I have to ask, like, seriously. So what does it look like? Like what do you want? Like if you're summing up the ideal person that'll just make you like be monogamous, like what does that person look like? And I'm not just talking about from excuse me, a materialistic standpoint. I'm
Well,
talking about
I'm not the
I'm just
materialistic
I'm
type of
talking
person.
about I'm talking about uh
You asked me like what is my like
so what's your guy? Like what's your stopping point? Like what when you talk about your boxes and stuff like that, like what's your stopping point? Like what is
my biggest boxes like that need to be checked is like open communication. Like
and
I
this is all in the effort for monogamy or
this is
all in
just for
for
my next person. This is just for
so do
me to
you
want
want
to
your
be
next
with
person to
you.
be poly or do you want them to be
I
monogamous?
don't want to force a narrative on somebody that's not something that they want.
I'm not even saying about forcing narrative. I'm talking about what does Sharon want?
I mean, like it's not necessarily like when I go into a relationship, be like, oh, this has to be poly or this has to be like an open relationship. It's just like it depends on the person. So like my last person, I thought we wanted to be open. Ended up that's just not what he wanted. It was just something that I had expressed or we had expressed about, and we was like, okay, let's do it. But the communication wasn't there. So it's like you're not communicating how you really feel or how this is making you feel. So now it's like things are being done both ways that weren't communicated. Now we don't know how each other feel. Now we all feel in our like in our head. Like that's why I said like for my next person, whoever that person is, it's like yes, I want them to accept the fact of me being open or possibly wanting to be open, but it's like I'm not going to force that on them. And then on top of that, I just need you to communicate with me. Like that is my like top thing right now, and then just vibes. Like I don't really have like
So you really want to be able to you so you're not gonna force the narrative, but I don't know if that answers what you want. It almost seems like
I want my person to be for me, and it's that's what it's hard for me to
so,
explain to people like to
so
get that like
so does your person that you want for you need to have a monogamous approach or do they need to have an open and poly approach? Like that's what I'm asking. Like
I would want them to be open to the idea of possibly being in an open relationship, but it that's not like a set box for me like that has to happen.
got you.
So it's like if I just like somebody that is open minded to have like these type of conversations, just to even talk about it and then it be in the room. So it's like this is a key I'm putting on a table. If you want to unlock that door, I'm giving you that option. I'm just coming with me and who I am as a person. And then if you want to take a part of that and be able to indulge in that in certain aspects to where like it's still respectful, it's still good for both of us, then cool. I'm just gonna put it on the tables that you know this is still gonna be a part of me, like regardless. Not saying I'm gonna step out on you. If you want to be fully monogamous, that's fine. But I need you to understand, if you ever feel said attractions and it's something that you want to act upon, that key is there.
So when they take that key and they open up their door, they're opening the door for you to have do the same thing that they do.
Not necessarily. I'm not gonna sit up here and be like, well, you did this with this person, so I'm about to go do this with that. I'm not a tit for tat type of person, but I want you to know that I am willing to be open enough to understand, like I said earlier, we're humans. We're going to be attracted. I would rather you tell me and it be a situation to where either this is something we do together or something that you do by yourself, but understand like it's there
Gotcha.
rather than you sneaking off and like cheating on me. Cause that just defeats the purpose. If you have the door and I'm saying you can use it, it's not gonna be no like, well, when I get mad, I bring this up later on in the argument. I'm not gonna do that. I'm just saying it's there.
I got you. I got you. I got you. I don't know. I just think it's different, overall for us guys. I think that a lot of us may not admit to it, but it's a lot of stuff that we dish out as males that we can't accept
Yeah.
as males. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
It's just different for us. Like I think like when it comes to guys, like we can do stuff without emotional or like the things that matters to us, right?
Mm-hmm.
Anything that's wrapped up into your heart is a big thing to anybody, whether it be, your heart as a whole, your emotions, your feelings, however you want to describe it. I think it's something sacred when we decide to give that vulnerability to a woman.
Yeah.
And that one particular woman that we decide to give it to, like, I don't know where the mix up comes in at, but sometimes we just feel like if I slip up or whatever and do some stupid shit, like that don't mean I want you to go do that shit to me, like type shit.
Yeah.
Like it's because I chose you type thing. And I think that we miss the misconception sometimes that sometimes we don't think about that same thing back. We don't think about like,
Y'all don't
damn,
think about how that's
how
gonna
did she
feel. Like,
feel when I did this shit? Like we know when y'all do it to us and we choose y'all, we can't fucking breathe, man.
no facts. It be on y'all chest. Y'all be heavy.
Like
Like,
it's
oh,
like I
she
can't
did this to
believe.
me. I didn't. But
Yeah.
y'all be doing like this, that, and this on top of all the other things. But
And
the
it's
one
because we
day,
do it emotionalist.
but it's okay. But what I'm saying is like, I'm not saying women can't be emotionless. But like I said, I'm different. I know how to detach certain feelings when it comes to certain aspects, because if this is just what we doing and you say this is just what we doing, then this is just what we doing. Don't come to me later and be like, well, I want this now on top of this. No, this is what we said from jump. This is what we was doing. That's what you said. So that's what we need to keep going by. But like not every female can do that. A lot of females want to say
So
now like,
so once you go down one way with you, the narrative can't change.
it's not that it can't change, but I'm saying like if we go into the situation saying this is what it's just gonna be, like if we just fucking, we just fucking. Like this is just a I'ma call you when I wanna hit you up type situation. I'm not no side nigga, nothing like that. Like we just fucking. But then like later down the line you'd be like, well, now I want to date you. Like it would kind of throw me off. I would rather you tell me we fucking it might be we gonna see where this is going rather than you just tell me we just fucking. Like
Right.
that's what I'm saying. If we going in just saying that's what it's gonna be, me in my mind, I'm gonna keep you in that category, in that box of like this is just what we doing. But if you telling me like, yeah, I want to fuck with you or I want to fuck you, but like I still want to kind of maybe possibly see like what it could be in the future. Okay, now I know how to move. Like that's just me though. I'd rather you tell
Can I
me.
tell you something you don't want to hear?
Okay, go
If a
ahead.
nigga put you into that category,
Hmm.
where he's saying like, I'm fucking with you and I possibly want to see where it go. At that point in time, he's indirectly asking for some type of exclusivity.
Okay, I get that, but
That means if I feel vulnerable enough to express that to you, that means that I need your antlers to go off and understand that at this point I'm seeing you for more than a situation that I thought it was going to be. I know that in the past I have respected our setup or whatever we had going where you can do what you want to do. But me telling you this, if you receiving this from me right now, I'm basically giving you the pre-nature of the fact that you need to start shutting that shit down, because that ain't what it's finna gonna be.
And that's perfectly fine. If you get to that point to where it's like you saying, okay, well, I'm getting to the point where I'm gonna need you to cut off. I want to be with you exclusively. If that's a conversation that we want to have, then cool. That's fine. But you have to respect the decision that she wants to make at the end of the day. If she wants to say, well, this is all I wanted, so I don't want to move forward, or vice versa, in the sense of like, okay, so we was doing this, now we not. I don't want to keep doing this because now it's like it done fucked up the agreement.
Right.
So as long as you're being open and not trying to be like shisty about it or like sneaky about it, like tell me how you feel. That's why I said for me, communication is so big, because it's like so many things could be misinterpreted. Or I might want to throw you a hint or put something on Instagram, my Instagram stories, because I know you're gonna see it, be thinking that you're gonna get the hint. Then I'm trying to talk to you like, rather me just saying this is what I want. Like communication is 100% for me. Like moving forward, whatever I gotta do, friendships, relationships, situationships, communication is like top tier.
I think she dropped the mic on me on my shit. I don't know what to say after that. I guess because I like to. I am not gonna sit on my platform and say that I'm probably the best communicator. I think there are different sorts of ways that I communicate, and if you're not a woman that can read my communication, then there will be no communication. If that makes sense.
That makes sense.
Like if you can't read me as the man I am and the person that I am, and understand the things that I do, that can express myself to you in the way that's naturally who I am, then you don't understand me as a person.
It's just some things like you can't assume that the other person is just gonna pick up on, because what is assuming do? It makes an ass out of you and me. So I'd rather, if I feel shaky about something or if I see a change, like I'm gonna ask you, like, you good, you straight, you okay. And if you tell me in that instance yes, or there's like nothing that you need to talk to me about, like, then when I come back later in a situation and be like, well, I've been feeling like this for this long, I've been asking, you didn't tell me, you just wanted me to like just pick it up out of thin air.
Got you. I can respect that. I can respect that too. I don't know. I don't know. But look, y'all, I don't know what all done happened tonight. I ain't even gonna hold y'all like I do.
We gonna see when the tape come back.
Yeah. I don't know what all happened tonight, y'all. I don't know. And I'm looking up at the screen instead of looking at my camera. I'm sorry, y'all. I'm trying to bring some music in, but my engineer over there, she ain't brought me in yet. The sun was playing for a second. You know, I guess everybody kind of sort of sleep right now, you know what I'm saying? But we're trying to create the content, man. It's been a kick it session. It's been live. Again, I was just looking at the screen instead of looking at my camera. You know, that means we kind of sort of got there a little bit. But anyway, man, this has been another episode of After Hours ATL Edition. And I'm your host, LaCheston. And I was accompanied on tonight with my guest.
Your girl, Sharon, not Shay. Literally, it's Sharon, not Shay on everything. Like Instagram, TikTok, Twitter. I'm not on Facebook, so don't look for me, but it's Sharon, not Shay with 3 N's. Follow your girl.
There you go. And in the meantime, between time, y'all already know. If you have not hit the follow button, do that. If you have not left at least one comment, do that.
Do that.
If you ain't at least hit the like button, do that, right? You know what I'm saying? If you don't do nothing else with the content, at least hit the share button and send it to somebody that you think that will actually like the content.
Just share it to the first person that pop up. Just share it to the first person.
That's
Boom.
it.
That's
You
all you
gotta
gotta
search.
do. That's all you gotta do.
Until next time, man, we ain't got no group shot. So I guess we're going to pop like that. You know what I'm saying? Do it real quick. Y'all know what it is. Peace.